So today's episode, we're gonna go over something that I learned about in 2013. All right, this is the first time I heard about it in 2013. And like now, 10 years later, basically, a lot more people are starting to be aware of it and starting to actively work on it. And a lot of people too are also already reaping the benefits. There are some leaders on this call that are reaping those benefits already. And that topic is passive income. Passive income. So residual income, passive income. Who here, well, you don't have to say if you're doing it already or if you're earning it already, but who here knows what passive income is? And if this is your first time ever hearing about that word, then let us know. But the way that passive income was described to me when I first heard about it was like this. Like people, when people learn about it, they'll walk through walls, they'll walk on fire. There's just so many like absurd examples that my former mentorship explained to me when it came to the word passive income. Okay. But basically, in a nutshell, when you here's how I can illustrate the best. Okay, here's how I can illustrate it the best. You work super hard in the very beginning. Okay, you work very hard in the beginning, and then after the work is done, you still reap the benefits of that work. Okay. Does that kind of remind you of Thrive? Does that kind of remind you of, a time in your life financially, right? Okay, this is financial related, where, you put all the hard work and effort in the very beginning. And then after you stopped working, you still collected a paycheck, right? When was the time when you experienced that? And if you haven't experienced that just yet, well, guess what? That it's possible, okay? It's very possible. Now, I know that when it comes to learning about this topic, there's even billionaires like talk about how it's not real. And there's just so many different like perspectives on it. But if you look at social media and if you look at how many people are making like that type of income online, it kind of makes you wonder if it's real, if it's attainable, if it's even like possible. And my question is, like, why does this term even exist? Like, how did this even come up? Like, how did this even originate? Who even created this term? And when I first learned about it, my mentors were telling me how like this is like the eighth wonder of the world. Like passive income, residual income is the eighth wonder of the world. But you
I thought
know,
that was compound interest.
oh yeah, that's compound interest, not passive. No, but my mentors told me that. But yeah, you're right.
It's kind of the same thing. It builds.
Yeah, we should go over it today. She knows what's up. Well, yeah, when it comes to passive income, residual income, in my opinion, especially with technology, with the use of social media, we can market online, we can use technology and automation, and there's just so much more technology now compared to before, where it's actually attainable. Like you can reach it, you can actually like grab it and actually work on it and then do it. I feel, for me personally, I feel that it's possible. I feel that it's something that is reachable, it's attainable. Someone anywhere who has access to the internet and who's coachable, who's going to be a student, who's actually going to do the work, right? Especially the work up front, they can achieve it. And so the very first time I achieved that goal, right, I got a taste of that was in 2013. Is I remember it was like a $25 paycheck that I got. And I worked in the very front, in the very beginning. I worked hard, like super, super hard up front with no social media. And then after that, went into motion and basically like the sales funnel, the sales process was in motion. The customer that I had made a purchase. And then from there, I just remember like I was at work one day and I remember getting an email and it said, "Oh, like you earned a commission." And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" Like I had no idea what the word commission meant. I just remember that I had a paycheck. And so that was kind of like one of the inspirations for me to pursue or even go deeper into entrepreneurship. It is that it was just possible, right? It became possible for me. So I experienced that in 2013. And not 2013, 2014, early 2014. Okay. So for you, It's 2024 now, right? What's possible back then, it's even more possible now. Angela says, congrats, Callan and Lena. A year with us, Callan, and you're building solid 4K. Next up, auto bonus. Found her runner, Lena. Working together. Proud of you guys for applying what you learned. Keep on going on your way to LSG, Lifestyle Getaway. Congratulations.
Congrats. That's a huge accomplishment. And
Yeah.
just to touch on that real quick, when it comes to like, different ranks, like don't compare yourself to somebody else because that, the quote, comparison is a thief of all joy. It's true because when you compare yourself to someone else, it's as if you don't believe in yourself and as if you're not honoring your own journey, right? Like everyone is going to get somewhere at a certain point, but it's like, how bad do you want it? How willing are you, to stick around and to do the work? So congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. You should be very proud of yourself. And sometimes it honestly just takes that one person. I actually went to lunch yesterday with one of our thrivers, Stephanie, and we had a 3-hour lunch and we were just talking about, life and work and home life, mom life. And, I was just talking to her and I was like, honestly, it just takes that one person, sometimes that one person is you and sometimes that one person is someone else, right? But it just takes one person to completely change your business. For me, that was Tiny. I don't know if she's on here or not, but most of you guys know who she is. And she was that one person that was like, I don't know what you're doing. I've never done it before. I'm like, me neither. And we just, ignorance on fire, and we just ran with a lot of passion, right? And so anything is possible, whether it's up to you but it's always going to be up to you, right? Because if you're not out there putting things out there, then, what's going to happen? Nothing, right? And then it's how resilient are you, right? Because sometimes you'll see people and they're just flying, they're flying through. But it doesn't matter, right? Like, what is your journey? Like, what do you want out of life? And why are you doing what you do? That's what's most important. So, hi, Stephanie. So, back to income. So I think Sean was talking about passive income, right? And so passive income is also known as like residual income. It's the same thing, right? You kind of do it once and you earn it over and over again. And so I wanted to touch on the 7 streams of income. So I don't know if you guys have heard about 7 streams of income. I don't know if you guys know about there being more than one, right? If you can you guys name several types of income streams that you've heard of, that you actually have right now, that you would like to have? What types of income streams growing up, or maybe just, starting in your education process, have you guys heard of?
I've heard of, work full time on your job.
Well, let's complete that sentence. Full-time on your job and
Earned, so Lena says earned and unearned. Residual.
yes. So there are about 7 streams of income. A long time ago, when I first heard of 7 streams of income, I couldn't tell you when I heard of 7 streams of income because I don't remember when, but all I knew was that I read somewhere or overheard somewhere that you needed 7 different types of streams to become a millionaire, right? And obviously now I know that that's not true, but it never hurts to have more streams of income than just one or just two, because if something happens to one, what are you going to do, right? And so having lived all these years you guys have lived, you guys have probably seen the ups and downs of different industries and what can happen when you lose one stream. So there are about 7 different types of incomes. That is the most well known, right? So the first one is earned income. So earned income is like the foundation of, most people's survival, right? It's the I need to make money to cover my bills. I'm going to go get a job. And I just want to stress the importance of the fact that like having a job is not bad. Okay. If you guys are doing something that you love, that you're passionate about, and you enjoy having a schedule and, having stability, like some type of stability or something to lean on in your life, there's nothing wrong with the 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with the job. Everyone starts somewhere, and not everyone has the luxury to be able to just chase their dreams and have someone financially back them. So earned income is like the foundation, right? And so you get a job, you have an employer, and it provides immediate cash flow. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks, every week, every month, what have you, right? Whatever your pay period is. And so this is where you are able to cover your expenses. And if you're smart enough to budget and review everything that's coming in and going out, you're actually able to save and put some money aside towards savings or towards investing, right? So the first type of income stream is earned income. And so I think maybe a lot of us here, we have earned income, right? We go somewhere, we get a paycheck, we do what we do, we exchange, our time for money, and we get a paycheck. And so that is like the number one stream of income that most people live off of these days. The next one is profit income, right? So profit income is when you generate a profit from selling goods or services. And it's like a commission type, right? And so entrepreneurship, starting a business, having a side hustle, you will create a profit income because you sell something and you pretty much get something right away. This could also be consulting services, right? Again, where you basically have a client, you onboard them, you consult with them, and then you make money. So that's profit income. It's sometimes like a one-time thing, right? You do it once and then that's all you get. You sell something once and you get money from that until, you get your next sale. So I was in this type of business before, profit income, right? Like I was doing loans, I was doing real estate. So basically sell a loan, you sell a house, you get a commission, and it's one time, right? So this is like a one-off. You're only as good as your next commission,
Mhm.
right? And sometimes, I mean, all money, any type of stream coming in is always a plus, right? Because you've acquired some type of skill set where you can trade your time or you can trade your expertise to be able to profit. So that's profit income. That's a second type of income stream. And then the third one, let me know if I'm going too fast. The third one is interest income. This is one of my favorite types of income. Compound interest, a little bit can go a long way. And I know there's a lot of formulas out there that you guys may have seen, but a little bit of compounding interest over time can go a very far way. And that's when your money starts to work for you. And interest income, depending on how much you have in there, your principal balance, it may or may not be really high. But over time, earning interest on your interest and on your principal balance can do wonders. And it's something that if you do have, you should have, right? If you don't have it, you should. Most big banks do not really pay you that much. They pay you pennies, like pennies, right? So there are savings markets out there where you can earn a higher interest. And so if you just Google high yield savings account, you'll probably find a list of them and how much interest you can earn on your money. So if you guys have savings that you put aside and that you don't need to touch right away, put it into a high yield savings account. I think right now the highest ones are anywhere between 5 to 6%, and you don't have to lock up your money. I used to actually lock up my money and do CDs because they're a longer term and they're fixed, but that was when I knew I didn't need to touch that money for a while, right? So there are a lot of savings accounts these days where you don't have to lock up your money if you're not sure if you're going to need it or not. So look into that, Google it. That is interest income. And so the fourth type of income is dividend income, right? So if you invest in dividend paying stocks I don't know, whatever their pay cycle is, right? Like I have dividend income that pays me every single month, but there are other incomes out there that pay on a quarterly basis, right? So it just depends on the stock or the company and how it's set up and when they pay you out based on how much you invest. And that is dividend income, right? And that that is also a type of passive income. But you have to put in a big balance, right? You're investing a big, a big or small amount of what you've earned, and you're putting it in there to be able to invest and to make more. So that is another way, another stream of income. And now the fifth stream of income is called rental income. And I don't know what you guys have heard about rental income, but some people can cash flow very highly on their real estate, their commercial buildings, or their land, and some people do not. Some people barely break even off of their investment, right? And so I would say if you're looking for rental income, do the math before you purchase a property, because when you do the math and subtract out the expenses, you're going to see exactly what you're going to cash flow. You may not cash flow that greatly all the time, especially if you get a loan, right? If you get a loan, which most people have to borrow, which is not a bad thing, it's actually good debt, right? I would look to see how much rental income you're getting. If you bought a house a long time ago, everyone needs a place to live, right? And so the rental amounts over the last 10, 15 years have just gone up, right? Like it goes up maybe even year over year, or every few years it increases. Certain counties, there's a cap on how much rental income you can increase by, and certain counties there are not. So if you're looking for a rental property, I would check out the stipulations of that county. So rental income is another type of income that some people have, some people don't have, right? Nowadays, there's Airbnbs, right? Or you can have a long-term hold where you have tenants and, you don't have to worry about the flip every single however long. It's up to you. Then we have royalty income. Royalty income is basically you're creating and owning intellectual property, which can lead to recurring royalty income. This income is not necessarily easy to come by, but when you come by it, because you have some type of book, music, patent, trademark, licensing agreement, or some type of software invention, it can be gold if you set it up correctly within your contract. So royalty income is something that not everyone has in their streams of income or in their portfolios, but if you come across one, you have one, you're lucky enough, it's gold. That's what you will be doing. Thank you. And so the next stream of income is capital gains, right? So profiting from the appreciation of assets, it actually helps build substantial wealth. A lot of people who have a high net worth or are wealthy, their funds are actually locked into assets, right? So a long time ago, I purchased a house. And at some point, when real estate prices were crazy, it almost doubled, right? And when that happened, my net worth shot up, right? But I didn't want to sell at that time because for me personally, there was no point to sell my property just because it doubled in income, just because it doubled, right? Because first of all, I would get taxed on a big portion of it. So once you get taxed, and if you don't have something better to place that money in, then you're just going to be sitting on it and probably spending it, right? So capital gains is something where you profit off of the appreciation of something that you purchase. Another way to build your net worth through capital gains is buying businesses, right? And so I've bought and sold several businesses. And when I buy businesses, I buy it for a certain amount, right? And as you build the business, right? As you build the business and put different things to it that increase its value, you are basically increasing your capital gains. You're increasing the assessment of you bought it at this, you added some things, and now it's worth this, right? So that is a part of income, but it's just not income you necessarily want to touch until you sell it because you have a reason for selling it, right? And I usually don't sell things unless there's something better out there that's going to generate more in order for me to actually make that realized gain worth it to pay, the taxes and to be able to like double or triple. But anyways, that's something else. So there are 7 streams of income. I just went over all of them rather quickly. I would say residual income. Where would residual income fall in? Residual income would have fell in at about dividend. Residual would have been like residual is like passive, right?
Yeah.
So you do something once and you get paid on it for a long time. So I feel that's kind of like interest income, dividend income, rental income. So what is residual income? What have you heard about passive income?
Passive, well, it's exactly
Same.
explained. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like when it comes to like passive income, residual income, like whatever the case is, okay? Like just make it very simple for yourself, okay? Like don't complicate it because the goal is not to just understand what it means, it's to actually attain it, okay? It's to like receive it. It's to activate it. And when you're working like full time on your job, right? Or full time in your business, like we'll give you an example. So the auto shop, I'm just going to use real life examples. Okay. And I'll relate it to Thrive as well. Okay. Because there's so many ways to create multiple streams of income, and some will be active and some will be passive, right? There's just break it down to two. And here's how you do it, right? Well, let me give you the example first. So with the auto repair shop, the auto repair shop's active income is cars go in and they get worked on and then they go out, right? So every single time a car comes into the shop, that is money in the door, right? And then when it goes out, then it's money out. And then it's the job's out. Then we have to find the next job. Okay. Which one was Crystal talking about when it comes to that? It's number one, earned income, right? Earned income is just, you work and then you get paid, you work again, and then you get paid, you work again, and then you get paid, right? So that's one income stream for the auto shop. But how do we activate passive income, right? How do we activate an income stream for the auto shop that whether we work or not, we're still receiving a paycheck? That right there, there's many things, and apply it to your brand, okay? Apply it to your brand. So we can sell merch, right? Merch is one way where we can earn passive income, in a sense. And how do you like, what's the math on that? Let's just say like it's $1,000 for like 10 t-shirts, okay? Depending on the quality of your shirt. So $1,000 times 10, right? 10 t-shirts. How do we make an income from that? Well, I guess that's not really passive income because now we're like putting in um the the money in.
That's kind of like a commission, right?
Yeah, that's
So you sell something and you earn something, but you're only going to earn it when you sell it. But I would say it could be residual or passive due to marketing, right? So if you're
yeah.
branding and if you're marketing and if you have it available, merch available for sale where people can go find it, it could be passive, right? Because you built your brand so strong and people are like, I want your stuff.
Yeah, because it's like there's two ways for that for selling merch. Like the first one is by selling like by yourself. Like you have to like when you receive an order, like so you do marketing, then you receive an order, then you fulfill that order, right? So that's active. But there's something called print on demand, where print on demand is someone you do marketing and then someone orders your merch, and then the print on demand company fulfills that for you.
Mhm.
Now that's passive. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like the only active part of it is marketing, but if you're already marketing for your full-time income, then boom, like you already activate exactly what Alex said. It's automated. It becomes automated, right? So whether it's passive, residual, automated, like it's the same element basically. And that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like keep everything simple, but the most important thing is to actually do it, right? Like how do you earn it? How do you activate it? How do you start receiving that right away? Okay. And obviously it's not right away because you got to put in the hard work in the front. Like you put all the hard work up front. But then once you do that and the momentum kicks in, that's where momentum comes in. Then from there, you start to receive, right? And so here's an example. Like that was one example of the auto shop, right? How can we activate multiple streams of income? Some are active, some are passive. Well, it's just about, becoming creative, right? And then from there, doing the work, understanding like the exact business model that you want to activate, and then from there, receiving it. Thrive. How do you earn like passive income and Thrive? Okay. And this goes for any business, right? That you're able to build a team with. Okay. Because especially if you're not worrying about the back end, then it's so simple because all you have to worry about and focus on is just the front end, which is sales, marketing, leadership development. That's why we have Fire Hour, leadership development. being able to duplicate yourself and help other people win, right? That's the whole entire game of Thrive is how do you help more people win, right? That's it. So when it comes to activating passive income with Thrive, with your business, guess what? It's super simple. It's just about putting up all the hard work and effort up front until you build momentum, right? And momentum, I mean social proof, meaning people are onboarding with you. They're getting started with you. They want to learn more. They want to like learn from you. They want to earn this income, right? They want to activate it. Guess what? Once you start to build a team, then from there, now you're starting to collect paychecks. You're starting to activate those passive paychecks. And that's the truth. Simply because whether you work or not, and you have a team that's actually working and doing sales, marketing, leadership development, doing all those things, then guess what? That passive income starts to activate. Now, is it truly passive? It's yes and no because it depends on how big your team is. It depends on the quality of your team. It depends on like who is focusing on what. It depends on like how much momentum is being generated through sales and marketing, right? It depends on how strong your brand is. It depends on all these things. But again, like, is it possible? Right? The answer is yes. Right? Now, I don't encourage anyone to stop working, right? Why would you stop working when you have momentum? Like you wouldn't. It's a mistake, okay? It's an amateur mistake to stop pushing when you have momentum. Like when you activate and have momentum, that's when you go deeper, harder, faster, stronger. You have to like pour even more fuel on the fire to continue that momentum. Because imagine this, and this is true. Like this was a statistic basically in like the network marketing industry where if you did a 90-day run, it only took one 90-day run that nine one 90-day run that was successful to literally get to the next generation. Okay. So meaning that let's say for example, like you have children. This is an example, okay? And your children are young. They're like, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And you have this business and you do a 90-day run, okay? 90 days of sacrifice, of commitment, of consistency, of going all out, of literally focusing intentionally with purpose and inspiration and motivation and everything. Pour your heart, your blood, sweat, and tears into this, okay? I'm not even kidding, I'm serious. 90 days. And you commit and you do it for 90 days straight, okay? You go all out. You create enough momentum in that 90 days. And if you are successful, if the 90-day run is successful, that effort will reach your children. Okay. Isn't that crazy? And that's the thing. Like it sounds like absurd, but the truth is it's not because those 90 days compound. Okay. This is where like you were talking about the compound interest, the compound effect, the compound efforts
Yep.
in your 90-day run and a 90-day run that is successful. Because there are 90-day, I've done 90-day runs that are not successful. And then I've done 90-day runs that are successful. Okay. So I know the failures and I know the successes. I know the losses and the wins. And so when it comes to doing it, right, the 90-day run, if you do a 90-day run and you're successful in it, all those hard work, those efforts, those sacrifices, everything that you did in those 90 days, it will compound and it's going to affect the next 18 months of your life 100%. And now the trick is, how do you continue that momentum after those efforts are gone, after those 90 days are gone? It's just activating again. It's just doing exactly what you did, but smarter, better, faster, harder, stronger. Okay. It's 90 days again. And this time, if you have all those momentum, you have all that experience, those results prior, compounding towards your future. It's the same exact thing with your income. It's the same, especially when you have a strong income stream. Like the goal is to not only just like deepen and increase that income that you have, but like how do you multiply it? Like how do you not just add, how do you multiply that, right? Lena says you want to keep going. Your team and others are watching you as the leader. Leaders cannot be complacent or else your team will follow. Yes, 100%. Right? It's everything rises and falls in leadership. So, and it's the same thing. Like there was a movie that I was watching the other day. I think it was yesterday actually. Um
I'm trying to think which one. Go ahead.
I think the movie was Money Never Sleeps. But in like that movie, I'm pretty sure that's the title of the movie, Money Never Sleeps. They talk about how money is like a mistress. and the mistress has one eye open and one eye closed.
Hmm.
And if the mistress, like if you don't watch and you're not paying attention to the mistress, then that one eye that's open will follow, right? And it's just, and this is what Crystal told me, right? This was like in 2020 when Crystal was talking to me about money. She said that like money is like a magnet, and money attracts other money, right? And so if your money is just sitting in your bank account, if your money is just not doing anything, it's stagnant. It's like it has that one eye that's closed. Is then guess what? The one that's open, it's going to go to where the other money is. Like if you're making money here, like all your attention and energy and focus will go here. But if you're making more money here, that energy is going to magnify. It's going to get attracted to this side right here. Does that make sense? Right? So it's the same thing. Like when it comes to like your income streams, I know I'm going all over the place right now.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, but like there's some people that say you should just focus on one income stream and then like just focus on that,
Yeah.
right? Just focus on that and make it like $1 million, $1 billion, whatever, right? Whatever that number is for you. But you focus all your time, effort, and energy into that, right? That's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with that. But if you have the capability and the knowledge, right? It's just about the knowledge, the know-how. If you have the knowledge to multiply that and you're able to, diversify your efforts in a smart way where you're not taking away from this one income stream, then why wouldn't you do that as well? Right? It depends on the path that you're taking. If you can make this path, 8 figures, 9 figures, a billion, then I would suggest to, that probably makes sense to go all into that. But if you know that there's a cap to it, right? That's the caveat. If you know that there's a cap to this income stream, then why not work smarter? Why not diversify? Why not like figure out how to learn another income stream or another skill to activate another income stream, right? Why not, right? If you already know that there's a cap to one, like why would you limit yourself, right? Because you can only grow so far, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna hit a ceiling.
Yep.
And then from there, now that's the trap. Because when you win and you don't have a backup plan or you don't have the next milestone that you want to accomplish after winning, after achieving success, that's when you see most winners and leaders and champions and people who are successful sometimes go down. It's because they hit their cap. They can't grow anymore, right? But the truth is that you can always grow no matter where you are. But, it just depends on you, depends on your development, depends on your awareness, depends on your mindset, depends on like your journey, your path, what you want to do. Everything that you decide is up to you. So if you want to cap yourself at growth, right here, then that's on you. But just know that you can always surpass that. You can always break through that glass ceiling, like just start to like, and especially when you're at that point, because I'm speaking from experience, when you feel like you've achieved it, guess what? Like that's a trap. Just know that you just slow down a little bit to speed up again. Okay? Like figure out like what's your next milestone. Don't stop yourself right here. Because if you do, then that's when you start to see this. That's when you start to get distracted instead of focused, right? So those are just some experiences. Angela says, I would never tell someone to quit their 9 to 5 to do this full time.
Yep.
Only if they are solid 40K up that continues to grow and build. 40K is just enough if you have a partner that has extra income to help you. 80K and up is ideal for single income. Yes, yeah, and guess what? Let's echo that, right? Like don't quit your 9 to 5. Like do not. Like there's no point because what did I just talk about?
Yeah.
Like your active income stream, like that one income stream. Like let's say it's your full-time job. Like work hard, go all out in your full-time job, but just know that there's probably a cap to it. And when you know that there's a cap, you're aware of it. Well, what can you do on the side, right?
Yeah. And then I want to talk about the variables, right? Like I know we're talking about ranks and stuff, but you can be a lower rank and get paid higher than a higher rank depending on how you build, right? So this is not by any means financial advice. A lot of us would never tell you guys to go quit your jobs. I think that's financially irresponsible. And if someone told you to quit your job to do XYZ full time, I would straight up ask them, are you going to cover my family's expenses if I, do everything you tell me to? And the outcome doesn't happen, right? And most likely no one can afford to cover you, cover your roof, your food, clothes on your back, transportation. no one can guarantee you anything, right? Like in life, success is up to you. And the decisions you make, especially the financial ones, are very dependent on what your situation is and what your family situation is. And having a conversation with a partner, if you have a partner, and actually going over your finances on a monthly basis to see how well you guys are doing and how well, if you can, right? So again, this is not financial advice. No one is recommending you guys quit your job. I would never tell anyone to do anything that puts their family in financial jeopardy, without being able to like completely back them, right? So I just want you guys to be aware of what your situation is, right? Not everyone's situation is the same. And like be mindful, right? Just be mindful, like you are an adult and you're responsible for yourself and your family's well-being. So make decisions based on you and your family and what you guys have discussed.
Yeah, like I remember because there's a difference, okay? This is because I experienced it, all right? Like I was told to quit my job and like I did it.
Yeah.
Okay, I did it. All right, with no backup plan. And I just went full time into business and like I crashed and burned. All right. So, but that was my experience. Like I've also had like many successes when it comes to that decision as well. But if I were to go back in time and if I were to do it all over again, I would definitely work full time in a job and then from there part-time on my fortune, which is any type of business like that I went and pursued, right? So like yeah, that's I've been there, okay? I made the mistake of taking advice from people that like were very successful, yet they didn't have the best interests at heart for me. Does that make sense? And not only that, but that was my decision, right? Like there's a difference between being inspired, fired up, and motivated versus like having like your finances in check. Okay, there's two separate things. You could be fired up, inspired, and motivated like I was, right? And then you can have your finances in check, right? But they're separate. Okay, they're separate, and that's where like it kind of takes like a little bit of growing up to do. So I did it I did it the childish way, where I was fired up, inspired, and motivated, and I went all out, quit my job. I was making good income, and I was like, you know what, like it was just lack of knowledge though. Like I really was by the book. I did everything by the book. Like my job told me that I can't do anything on the side of my full-time job. And like that's in the documents I signed. So I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I can't do anything on the side." But, this is life. Like, like do what's best for you and your family. And with integrity, with integrity, okay? That's the most important thing with your values. But when it comes to like someone telling you not to make more money, like just don't do that. Like if you can make more money and it's something that you want to pursue, you're passionate about it. Like let's say you have a hobby that you're super passionate about, right? And like you want to figure out a way where you can make income from it. Well, guess what? Like it's possible. Like don't let anyone other like don't let other people tell you that's not, okay? Because it's so possible, especially because of the tools we have now, right? You have access to social media. You have access to business online. You can make money online now with the tools as long as you have an internet connection and you just know, like you learn, you gain that skill set, right? The most life-changing stories are part-time.
Yes. And
Yes.
anyone can do this part-time. And that is the beauty of residual income, passive income. You do something once and it pays you forever, right? But obviously you have to set it up correctly and you have to like at least follow someone else that has been doing it. So um you can work a full-time job. You can go home and cook and clean and take care of your kids and run your errands, do all the things that you have to do on top of that, having this side thing, this side hustle, this side income, right? And what you want to do is you want to build a side hustle or another business just as strong to replace your income that you have right now, that is the basis for all things that you pay from, right? And once you get it to that point, you're going to see like, why do I just need to, why do I have to just pick one? Why can't I have both? Right. And that is also the importance of diversification, which goes back to why we were talking about the 7 streams of income, right? There's 7 different streams of income. And if you do not need all 7 to become a millionaire, I used to think that's how it was because I was, you read that and you're like, oh, it must be that. But until you start getting into the action and the practice of things, you'll realize that, doing the earned income thing, right? If you're saving, you can earn up to seven figures, right? And if you have like profit or interest income or royalty or whatever other type of income, any type of income really can get you to a millionaire status. But the thing is, what's going to keep it going, right? Because how you got there may not be the way you maintain or the way you multiply it, right? So there are different streams of income. You do not need all of them in order to get to a certain financial status, but you do need one or two, and you need a really good skill set. So if you can work, your full-time job and do something part-time that's going to gain momentum and help create a residual income where when you are not working the business anymore, it's still going and growing for you, right? But that's dependent upon setting things up right and really doing that 90-day run correctly, right? And then having other people who see the vision and who are in it with you in the long run. And not everyone is in long term, like we've some of us have been here for what, 6 years, 6+ years, and not everyone that started with us is still here, but there are a good handful of people that are still here. So don't get discouraged if people drop off like flies. Like, this is not something that everyone is going to stick to, like people didn't even stick to their jobs, they hop around, right? So with that in mind, I would always think long term, right? Like, some people's journeys can be very quick and you just see them shoot to the top very quickly. But it's important not to compare, because this business, it is long term. You're going to be living long term. And if you're not doing this for long term, you're also still going to be working long term, right? So the goal and the mindset of anything really should be long term, right? But this business can be long term, but built in short term sprints, right? And you actually want to have short-term sprints in order to gain that momentum, because you can either grow painfully slow or you can grow very quick, right? And so with the 90-day runs, you basically go all out. So if you have not gone all out, I would highly suggest you do. It is completely life-changing. There's not really a leader on here that I don't know hasn't done a 90-day run in order to get to where they got to and in order to build a team.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, like anything that you do, like what, like even like in your job, for example, right? Like for me, when I first like got my dream job, basically with my former mentor, I in the very first 90 days, I'm like, I'm showing up in the suit. I'm focused. I'm learning as much as I can. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best to stand out, like all these things, and I did. And then guess what? Like I just kept on going because in the first 90 days, I just did my best. And that's the four agreements, right? One of the four agreements, that book, is always do your best. And I was thinking about this the other day because I asked myself, like, what's the downside of doing your best? Well, guess what? There is no downside. My dad would always tell me when I was a child, like, always do your best. So that stuck with me. And like when it comes to the upsides of it is whether or not, like, as long as you do your best, like the person who like reaps the benefits is you, like regardless of what it is. So for me, when I had that job, in the first 90 days of that job, I did my best. And guess what? I was noticed. And eventually, like all those compound effects, like all those the results that I kept on doing, I kept on showing up. I kept on like doing my best to prove to myself and to my boss and to everyone else there that I'm here to contribute to the company. Well, guess what? It was noticed. And then I eventually started to climb all the way to the top. And then I reached the glass ceiling. I reached the ceiling for myself where I capped out. And then at that moment is when I realized, you know what, like, am I going to like go full time and somewhere else, or am I going to go on my own path? And for me, like, I went on my own path. If I were to do it differently, like, who knows what would happen? I might not be here today, right? If I did that, but it just depends. It really depends on like what you're doing. Oh, corporate is dropping the recording of last night's Elevate call sometime today, along with a 90-day run worksheet. I love the alignment. Wow. That's fire. Well, guess what? They know something, right? They know something. The 90-day run, right? So,
Tried and true.
yeah, I don't know if you read this one yet. Angela says, what I love about what we do, we can make as much as we want for 90-day runs. Takes a lot of energy. Prepare your home and energy. It can be done. when you make that decision to, it's massive, massive actions. Yes.
Yes. And
Yeah.
and she says that because she did it,
Yeah, she did
right?
it.
Like she did it. Like she flew and she took massive action. She was not like, I'm not sure, like, I don't know, or no, I don't want to do that. She was just like, tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. And then once I do it, I'm going to do it over and over and over and over again. And she did that, right? And like when she did that, people saw like, oh my goodness, like I can do it. Like if she can do it, I can do it, right? Like success leaves clues. And the thing is, like, all of us here, we never gatekeep, right? Like, how easy is it to get a hold of us to ask, hey, what should I do? Where should I go? Where's the resources, right? Like, this isn't a typical corporate 9 to 5 where everyone's just trying to keep everyone at a certain level because there is no surpassing what's called the glass ceiling, right? And so there is unlimited potential to build yourself and to build something for your family that can last a long time. And we say that because we've seen it. We say that because we've done it, right? And so success leaves clues. So who are the people that are here that are showing up, that have been there, done that, that can guide you, right? Like the only thing that's going to stop you or slow you down from honestly anything in life is just your mindset.
Yeah.
It is just your mindset. It is a mindset thing, right? And usually when you're slowed down, you'll see it. Like you'll see it and you'll feel it, right? It's not like you won't see it or you won't feel it and you just live in like bliss, right? Like the writing is on the wall. And so the only thing that's stopping you is you. It's your mindset. You haven't made a decision yet, right? You have not made the decision that you're going to go all in into something. You may have said it out your mouth, but the actions and the results show differently. So make a decision, right? Whether you're in or you're out, but being 1 foot in and 1 foot out, I can tell you right now, it's extremely painful, right? Like that's when all the negativity and the self-doubt seeps into you and you don't even start,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and you know what? Like one thing when it comes to glass ceilings is like you are your own glass ceiling, okay? Whether you're in a job and especially if you're in business. Like, but regardless of position, you yourself, because you're the leader of your own ship, you are your glass ceiling. So however high you want to put that glass ceiling, like put it, you know? Angela says, I took Shun's Fire Hour and we scaled. In 16 months, 500K team to 11 million in sales, in team sales. It's freaking crazy.
Those were wild times. And you know what? Like it honestly was an accident, right? Like we did not know what was going to happen or what to expect, right?
I mean, I knew I knew what it could look like, but how fast Angela did it, like that was
It was
amazing.
mind blowing. It was mind blowing. And it was during COVID time. So you guys, no excuses.
Yeah, I knew what to expect because scaling to 8 figures is I understand how to do that. That's what I do. That's like one of my strengths.
Yeah.
But the speed that Angela activated and achieved it,
Yeah.
that's like next level.
But that was her, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can have a teacher, right? Like the teacher can open the door, but it is up to the student to walk through it, right?
Yeah.
She done ran through it,
Yeah.
okay? She did not walk, she ran. She's like, "Where's the door? Open the door right now. I'm going." And she freaking went, you guys. And so she is a live example of someone who takes massive action and an example of a student that ran through the door, okay? She didn't even walk.
No,
She
it was like
freaking
this.
sprinted.
It was like, all right, where's the door? All right, she ran through it. I was like, oh, like she ran through it. I need to open another door right now.
It was like keeping him up, you know what I mean? Like he was just like, okay, I gotta go do this, I gotta do this, okay, this, da, 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 da. And it was fun, you guys. Like it was so fun and it continues to be so fun. And I think that, as adults, we forget to have fun, but it is when you are having fun and you are in alignment with yourself, with your group of people, that magic just happens. It really just happens. And it can happen over and over and over again. But you have to make the decision to walk, run, crawl, or just go through the door.
Through the door, right?
Go
Angela
through the
said,
door.
Angela says she applied everything that she learned daily. And yeah, 15 months, 500K team. Isn't that crazy? That was the first time we ever did Fire Hour. That was
Yeah.
Fire Hour season one. Fire Hour season one. That was when I was crazy, all right?
And that was when what? I was 1 year, a little over 1 year
You're
in the
like,
business.
no, you were already at like 18 months. Yeah. You're
18 months,
you're like
1 million in team sales, 1.4 million in team sales.
you were at like you were at like 1.4 million, and then that's when I
Fire
showed
hour
up.
started. You showed up on accident, you guys. Like I was just doing this little mini power hour with people talking about self-development. And
And I
my
was
mechanic showed up at my house and I was like, oh, you gotta take over because my mechanic's outside. So I gotta tell him what's wrong with my car.
yeah, and I
And I
was
just
like,
left him. I didn't even warn you, right? I didn't even warn you. I was just on the call and I'm like, hey, Sean, my mechanic's here. I was on this call, so can you just take over real
no,
quick,
no.
introduce yourself? Bye.
This is what she said. She said, you're either gonna talk to the mechanic or I am.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, I don't even know what she wants me to talk to tell him. So then yeah, so I had to just hop on.
that's a good that.
And then I got fired up. Yeah. And then I got fired up like on the call.
That does sound like me. A lot of ultimatums, like this or that. So you pick one. But either way, I'm gonna get what I want.
Yeah, that's good, you know? So, but yeah, that was a pivotal moment. Like, if we were to look back into our history, like, that was for sure a pivotal moment of, like, because, like, when I hopped on, like, I got inspired, but I got inspired because, like, of those who were on, you know? And it's because, like, for me, I love helping people.
Yeah.
And so when it, now Shin talks to mechanics. Yeah, it's true. It's so funny. Yeah, but literally, yeah, I don't know. I just got inspired by like I remember it was Julie, Nancy, Diane, Linda.
Yeah, it was only 4 or 5 people. And then less than a month later, it turned into 200 people, you guys. From
Yeah.
4 to 5 people on to 200 people on. And when we first started, it was
Yeah.
like 10 a.m., right? So like who really can hop on at 10 a.m. unless you don't have work or you're like listening on an AirPod, right? And like covering your AirPod, right? At the
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
So it started with like 4 or 5 people, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 6 a.m. with up to 200 plus people
Yeah.
hopping on 7 days a week.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was crazy.
And I don't think we were all morning people. We were not all morning people, but we were just fired up every day, just
Yeah.
excited for life, excited for like to be with our community and to learn, right? To
Uh,
grow.
yep. Yep. Yeah. Yelling Sundays. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yes, he would yell, and I would literally be sitting right next to him, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, like I'm freaking getting deaf." Like he would
Yeah.
yell, and I'd be like this, like leaning into the side, and then the kids would like come from upstairs and be like, "You're crazy! You're so loud! We're sleeping."
I know. I know.
But people loved that energy. They loved the energy. They love being like sometimes you need to get yelled at.
Yeah, that was crazy times. Like that was really crazy. Oh my gosh.
One day, again, when we have
Yeah.
some of our ducks in a row.
Yeah. Well, it depends. But I think those days are over for me right now. That was a lot of energy. I poured
He poured
everything.
his heart and his soul and everything that he had. And he was coming from a really dark place. He was
Oh
coming
yeah.
from a really dark place and it really helped him turn around,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of this community. Like we are not just here just for ourselves. We are here for each other, right? To see each other's growth, to see each other's progress, to cheer each other on, and that's the beauty. It's beauty.
The
That is
beauty.
the beauty of this community is, having people to love you and support you wherever
Mhm.
you're at and wherever you want to be. Whether you're starting, whether you're a senior at this, whether anywhere you are, and you
Mhm.
can start over again. Like if you've been here for a while, you can start over again. Like tomorrow, you can be a different person. You can make the choice, right? But a lot of times people have not made the choice. You have not made the decision. So you continue to live life very painfully, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's crazy.
And we were just barely starting our relationship then.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we were not even like we 7 days a week, 6 a.m.,
It was 7 days a week.
rain or shine.
It was 7 days a week.
And we were just building our relationship. We were brand new.
Yeah, our relationship started on Fire Hour.
It really did. You guys, like, if you guys were here back in the early days, you got to see our relationship like evolve. There were times where we got into a heated argument right before, and then 6 a.m. came and we're like, hi.
Oh my God.
But that's what happens when you're accountable towards people, right? Like that's what happens when you're accountable towards people. When you decide that you have something you want to share and you want to help other people. It's not about you. It's not about your feelings. It's not about what you want. What do they want? Why did they come in? Why do they follow you? Why do they look up to you? What are they looking for? Right?
It's like a commitment though. It's like if if you said yes and you decide, then you show up. All right. That's your integrity. That's your word. That's your bond.
Yeah.
But if you don't show up, then you're only hurting yourself and those who you're serving, right? And servant leadership is everything, right? The ones who like are really in of service to others, like you will notice who they are. Okay. You will notice. So yeah, when you're unaligned, train other people. You guys are so awesome. Love it. What a blessing to be here. Can't wait to meet all of you in April. Thank you. Likewise.
I hope you guys are all going.
Affirmation.
I hope you guys all got your tickets.
But yeah, there's a quote, right? Just to add on to like what Angela said. When sometimes you need power hour and sometimes power hour needs you, right? It's the same thing. Like any event, any experience, like what if you're going through something, then you should get in proximity with people who are positive, who are fired up, who are inspired, who are going after their goals and dreams like with relentless and purpose intent. Okay, like don't like be by yourself in those moments. And then when you're fired up, inspired, and motivated and going after your goals and dreams, then you be around other people because you inspire those people to go even harder, right? To go even deeper, to go further within and then to express out, right? So we're not doing those numbers now, but no one in the company is, and likely no one in the industry. Stay
Yep.
grounded and stay consistent.
Yep. You guys, this is long term, in anything, in a job, in a relationship, in your own business, in anything in life, there are ups, there are downs, there are stagnant times. It doesn't matter, right? Like you have to be able to have the resilience to be able to stick with things for a long term. You have to remember, why did I start? Who did I start with? What do I want for my life? If not this, then what? Because no matter what, you're going to take you with you anywhere you go. So, regardless of if you're here or there, it doesn't matter because the same mindset you had here is going to be the same mindset you have somewhere else, right? Like, this is just a tool, this is just a vehicle. It is one tool, it is one vehicle of many vehicles, but the person you're trying to become is the person that goes anywhere and does anything the same way, right?
Yeah, like, well, you gotta be also smart about like what path you take too, in my opinion. But
Yes.
but follow your heart, okay? That's the most important thing is follow your heart because if you just don't listen to other people when they say don't follow your heart, like don't do what you're passionate about. Like do it. Like do that. Like pursue what you're passionate about. Do what you love. Like if it doesn't make money, all right, it's just because in the beginning it didn't make money. But when you do it, oh yes, and have fun. Thank you, Goody. Have fun too. That's one of the most important things. Like enjoy what you do, right? So follow your heart, have fun, enjoy it, right? Pursue your passions, enjoy what you do. But if it's not making income in the very beginning, then and it's okay not to make income in the beginning, but we all have bills to pay. We all have taxes to pay, right? So guess what? Like if you can activate a way like where you're activating something that you love to do with income, then why not?
Yep.
Right? Why not? It's possible. It is possible. Anywhere in the world, in any industry, someone is making money from something that they love.
Yep.
Okay. One of them is this, right? Another one is something else, etc.
And I love what Madeline said, wherever you are, there you are.
Yeah, that's super deep, but it's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
People, and then Angela says, people are stuck before they don't move in motion, move up and out. Fun with the basics. Jackie says,
Hmm.
do it now while no one else is. Goody says, anything is possible. Rach says, like I tell my kids, anything is possible. Yes.
Yes.
So never stop having a childlike state of mind. Every day is a fun day. Every day is a surprise. Have fun with the people that you have fun with, right? Yes.
Yeah, 100%. That's so good. There's so much more. Stop complaining. Start doing awareness. You know those sheets that Todd has are just awareness questions. If you find yourself complaining, go to the mirror right away. Okay? Go to the This is a hack. Go to the mirror right away and start complaining. And then you'll see how fast you stop complaining, okay? Or you might go all out and be like, oh man, like, that's part of like the awareness, waking up your awareness, right? But Jackie says it's like a bear and bull market. You're gonna pull out while it's low and slow. Oh, you're not gonna benefit when it's high and crazy. Stay in. Yeah, that's true. That is true. You guys are such fire. I'm so happy I hopped on, even if it was a little late. Oh, thank you, Sonara, right?
Nora, yeah.
Sonora. Thank you. Thank you. That's fresh. If you can show up, like show up, right? It doesn't matter if you're late or not. Like you're here, right? That's what matters. You showed up. You're present. That's what matters. That's for everyone. That's for us. If we didn't show up, like where would we be right now? I'd be working
Sleeping.
or sleeping, right? I'd be up. I was already up. Um, Angela says it's directing you. Goody says any line of business and relationships. Yes, yeah. And relationships, right? Like they're long term. Like you're gonna be here for long term. So every relationship that you have, like treat it like a long term. Like it's something that's long term. Um, yeah, there's a
Relationships
lot.
are also so important. Like evaluate your circle, right?
Mhm.
When I first started in this business, I noticed that we were all positive. We all wanted more and we all wanted growth. So anything that was not this, I did not want it anymore, right? Like you sometimes outgrow the friends that you've had for a long time. And it's not that you leave them behind, it's just that your relationship changes with them, right? But you start to see things because you start to become more aware. So
Mhm.
there's that saying that the 5 people you surround yourself the most around with, that's who you become,
Yeah.
right? So look around, like name the 5 people that you are around, because if there's something that they do that you don't like guess what? You're probably doing it too subconsciously and you don't even know it, right? So evaluating your circle is very important. Do they want better in life? Do they want growth? Are they stagnant? That's cool, if that's what you want, right? That's okay. But if they're not growing, they're not bettering themselves, they don't want to be in this positive environment where everyone's supportive of each other, no matter like where they came from,
Mhm.
what they have, what they don't have, like evaluate your circle. When I started this business, I started evaluating my circle and I'm like, hey, some of my friends only call me once or twice a year when they're going through some traumatic life experience and they are just like leaning on me for support, right? And I'm like, I don't know if that's really a friend, right? So your friends and the relationships you have with the people in your home, outside your home are really important in your growth, right?
Yeah, protect your energy. Like that's like, especially if you're going after your goals and dreams, like, and you have a purpose that like you're pursuing, right? Everyone has purpose, okay? It's just about finding it and then like pursuing it. But, it's really important to protect your energy, especially because, if you're really focused, like, and then you get distracted by whatever, like that's taking away from the energy that you can put into your focus, into your purpose, right? So it's really important to protect your energy. And not only that, but surround yourself with people that you want to be around, right? You have a choice. It's all up to you. It's all a distraction. Yes. Yeah, there's so many amazing like comments that you guys shared, like so many messages that each message that you all shared can literally be one episode. It could be an hour-long episode for each one because it's just so true, right? There's just so much. But especially like we're in February, right? We're about to go into March.
So
Next
soon.
next fire hour is gonna be March. Okay. So guess what? Like what like let's just reflect real quick, like just for yourself as we end this episode. Like what did you do? Like what are your wins, your losses, like your lessons, your successes, all these things for the month of February, right? Because tomorrow is it 29th?
I don't know, but I just got this message and do you know?
Oh, see, the message says you received money. Okay, that's what the message says. But what did you do? Okay, like what did you accomplish? What are you gonna improve for next month? Right? February. How are you gonna end February strong? How are you going to bring that momentum, that energy, that good energy? Forget it, like let go of the bad energy, bring in that, or and transmute that bad energy into good. And then how do you bring that good energy, that positive energy, that fire,
residual energy,
that residual positive fire, inspiring, motivating energy into March, okay? Into March. Angela says, my messy room was a distraction too. Took me 10 years. Yeah, I feel you. Don't worry. We got, yeah, actually, you know what? That's an action item. Clean your space, clean your home, clean your space for March, okay?
We should prep for a 90-day run. I got my first LV check. Not a big check, but any check is a win. Lena, yes, yes, yes. Gratitude is the attitude, right? Angela's first check was $30. Imagine if she quit at $30 because she's like, $30 is chump change. That ain't enough for me. I'll be done with that by lunch, right? $30 can mean something. Lena, your check, your first check, it might not be big, but look at Angela. First check was $30. And now we're going to watch her walk across the Thrivepalooza stage as an LV millionaire, right? Mm-hmm. Like the impossible becomes possible when you're surrounded around people who love you, who support you, who want to grow with you. And gratefulness is like, gratitude is like the attitude anyone should have, because that is actually when you start to appreciate and bring in more things, right? So congratulations, Lena, on your first check, one of many checks to come. Maybe we'll be watching you on stage in, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, 1 year from now. Who knows, right? It's up to you.
Yeah, it's possible. 90-day run for that. And that's your belief check. That check represents and symbolizes your belief. That right there is the stepping stone to so much more. And just so much more impact, not just for yourself, but others that follow, that go along the journey with you.
Claim it,
right?
girl.
Claim it.
And yes, you've never arrived. And I always say that to Sean. I'm like, you know what? May you never arrive. May you never arrive, because it is about the journey, not the destination.
And trust me, look, I know, all right? I've been wanting to get to that destination for a long time, but it just never comes. So it's about the journey, guys.
And may it never come, because there is another level every time you hit a certain goal. It is never over, right? Like you are becoming over and over and over again. So with that being said,
yeah, and let's end it with
wrap up.
Yeah, Hannah says, build a life you love and you'll find yourself continually immersed in gratitude.
Beautiful.
Fire.
Beautiful.
Thank you for ending
the
call.
Goody. Me too. We don't want it to be over. Me neither. Are we going to see you guys in March? Orange County, Tina and Eleni are having a Thrive and Mingle. If not, check bulletin, ask your sponsor, be there, be square. I don't know.
And if you're not like in that Telegram group, then like just reach out to us and then boom. Like, let's get connected. Let's build the community. Let's continue to create more impact together. Let's make it happen. All right.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
For putting this together.
Thank you. The team always throws amazing community events and just experiences. And it's just like, who wants to make more friends?
And most importantly,
with good people.
Invite your friends, invite your family, invite your spouse and your kids, people that are going along with you in this journey. Like, we're fun. And when people get around us and they see us and they meet us, they're like, oh, this is great. Like, this is good energy.
Yeah.
And Angela says we are having one here the 30th. So Bay Area next. So go to Orange County first, March 15th, and then Bay Area, March 30th.
Yeah, and then the next place after that too. All right, amazing fire hour as always. Thank you.
We love you guys so much.
Love you all
so much. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, let's get it. Crush it. Dominate your path. Make it happen. We love you. Let's go.